Okay, hey y'all, hey. Um, so I wanted to jump on right quick and I wanted to have a quick conversation in reference to a couple of videos that I've seen lately. And I wanted to really kind of just give a response. But I jotted down a couple of notes because this is going to be a fairly quick video. I am sitting here looking out on the beautiful water of Tampa, Florida, and just enjoying the bay and thinking about some things in reference to what we're getting ready to talk about. So if this is your first time on my channel, thank you for coming. And I want to say thanks for coming to check out Meditations with Marini. That's where we are talking about all things dating, marriage, divorce, especially for those that are in the age range of 40 and above. And mainly 50 because I'm 55. And so I saw a conversation and I kind of wanted to jump in on something in reference to women and how much money that they make and dating in this current life. And the reason that I wanted to jump on is because women in my age group, if you're 55 or 50 years old, 40, 50 years old, you have either set a standard for what your career path is going to look like, and you have established what that lifestyle is going to be. And I want to kind of come from a perspective of talking to men in this process of dating. And many men have found that in many cases, most men in my age bracket don't make as much money as the women in the age bracket. But there is still a lifestyle that the women who may make that money is expecting for this particular man or the person that they're dating to take care of. And what I have learned is, well, I have to give you some background on me. And I do want to come back and really do a story on my mom and my dad, how they met, what their lifestyle looked like. But you've heard me mention in some of my previous videos that my dad was what one would consider an uneducated man. He could not read, he could not write, because where they grew up at, my father was responsible for working in the fields, and the boys did not get to go to work in most cases. The girls the boys did not get to go to school. The girls may have had an opportunity to go to school, but the boys did not. And so, I'm sorry. Just got to clear my throat. In most cases, the boys were required to go and work in the fields. Well, when my dad and my mom met, my mother said that my dad, she was going to school. She was in high school in the small town that they're from. And she said my dad would meet her every day when she got out of school. I think it was like her junior year. He would meet her every day and he would ride the bicycle home. And he would tell her, "I'm going to marry you." And she was like, "I'm not going to marry you." And he was like, "Yes, you are." And she said he was riding a bicycle. Every day he would go and meet her after school. He would go and work in the fields, and then he would come and meet her. And he would ride her home, like basically ride his bicycle to the house. And so the long and the short, the proposal for my dad to my mother, one day she said she was walking home from school, and she said my dad was like, "I'm going to marry you one day." And she said that day she told him, "I'll marry you if you take me away from here." And she said my dad stopped because that hadn't been the answer she had always given. And he said, "Well, where do you want to go?" And she said, "I want to go to Atlanta." And he said, "Okay." And from there, they planned a wedding. And, well, not really a wedding, but they planned a day for the minister to marry them. They got married and they came to Atlanta. That's it. And they were married for 33 years until my dad died. Now, there's a lot that happened in between those 33 years, but I came along during the last 18 of his living years. My father ended up getting sick and he died the year that I turned 18. I turned 18, and then that Christmas night he passed away. And I will come and tell you guys a little bit about that. I'll do a whole story on them. I think I want to call it the Love Chronicles because it's a beautiful story about marriage and love and what life looks like. And I'm saying that to say to you that my mother had a high school education. My father did not, but my daddy could fix anything in the world. He had the manual and the mindset and I was going to say the manual labor thought process. He had the ability to have a mind of an engineer. He just didn't have the practical portion that goes along with it to be able to read a book to do it. But he built most of our house. So I'm giving you that prerequisite so that you will know that when it comes to money and how much somebody makes, that really doesn't move a man, not a real man. So in this world, in this life, my mother always made more money than my dad in her 9 to 5. But my dad was so skilled that he could always make other money on the side. He also had other businesses that he did that, they brought in income. So in the long run, he probably made more money than her, but just on paper, he may not have. And I'm saying that to you because in my household, growing up as a child and being there until he was 18, I never saw the difference in how she respected his position. And so, as a woman who is looking to date, what I will say to you all, for those that are watching my channel, remember my channel is for women who are interested in dating but with an intent to get married. Now, if you're just here for dating information and just to get some tools, it will work for you as well. But I want to say to women who are making a significant amount of money that you need to understand that from a Christian standpoint, your financial stability or your financial increase over your husband does not change the position of him being the head of the household. I'm gonna pause right there because it's gonna take a minute for some of y'all to take that. And so what happens, or what has happened in today's society, is that we have taken the ability for somebody to be able to make a certain amount of money, and we have tried to then turn that into the authoritative position in the household. It's not going to work, especially if it's a real man. And when I say a real man, my mother used to say, you got all kind of men. You got some that's just breath and britches. And so I'm not talking about a breath and britches type person. Guys, it's a beautiful boat going by right here. Like, I could be out there on it right now. And I'm saying that because I hear women, I live in a society where most women are going to make more than a man, especially if you meet them now. Remember, we're talking about people, those of us that are on this channel, or you are interested in what my content is about. You have been married. You have had life situations to happen. You done bought houses, you done bought cars, you've had the opportunity to have possibly repossessions and foreclosures and things that have happened that may have put you in a position where you might not even be making exactly what you once used to make. I know for me, I'm making less now than I was making pre-COVID, but also it has a lot to do with what you do with the money that you do get. Like, are you a good steward over what you do bring into the household? And so I had some points that I wanted to make, but I'm not going to be able to do it on this one. I guess I'll just make this like a prerequisite, and I will just say that I wanted to just give an overall viewpoint that the amount of money that a woman makes, it does not, and I know, ladies, y'all not going to be happy with me saying it, but it is not going to change the household status. It is still his responsibility. And so the things that went on in my marriage, you guys heard me talk about some of the financial components that we had. It was not because I did not do right with the finances that were coming in. Remember, I already had a house before he came, which means I was already paying a mortgage. I was already handling that household. So when he came, guess what? Something should have happened that should have freed us up in some ways to be able to have something bigger and better than what we already had. But when you don't have two people that's moving in the same direction, I don't care how much money that you make. If both people don't have the same mindset about how we are going to spend money and what we're going to do with it, it is not going to work. And so for me, you guys know that I love love. I believe that every person can find their person, or that person can find them, because I feel like, ladies, if we look at it from the way that I believe that things happen, I believe that it is he that findeth a wife. You can be in the right place at the right time, but it's going to be his choice. And that's one of the things that, I had to be honest with myself about, and how I helped to drive that process in my previous relationship. I had my hand too far over in that. And being honest enough to admit that now makes me pull back in times that I might, because I'm the type of person, I'm a visionary. If I see that, he has a mindset that we're going in a direction, I'm ready to take it. Let's go. I can draw out the plans. I can do the business plan. I can pull the LLC together. I can make sure that this, I'm ready to move forward with the plan that I think that you have in place. But when there's no plan in place, you don't have nothing to do with that. And so you can't be more aggressive in the process than he is for his own purpose or his own promise that he knows that he's supposed to be called to do. So I just got to get this little tidbit. Y'all know I got to delete some space off my phone. And so I got to, I'm going to stop this video. But I really could dove into this. Like, I could really talk about this for at least 45 minutes, and I know that's not the popular space for YouTube, but I also believe that my channel is for the more mature ear and the persons who are really looking to learn, develop, and grow in order to be able to be better in their relationships. So this right here is just I'm gonna call this the prelude. Yeah, this gonna be the prelude to I said dating a man and your money. I was talking about dating a man and your money, ladies. But I think I'm going to just make this the prelude. I'm just going to give this as an intro. Y'all give me some feedback in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Send me an email if you need to. And let's talk about it. I'm going to come up with some other topics and we're going to go forward from there. So, you know, I need you to do 3 things. I need for you to click like. I need for you to share this with a friend. And I need for you to subscribe. Have a good day.